Hey lovelies, Super Bowl Sunday is just around the corner, which in my house at least means things are about to get pretty tasty. Every year I host a big Super Bowl bash and cook up some of my very favorite recipes. That being said, all of that over-the-top eating can lead to tummy troubles, so this year I thought it would be fun to team up with Pepto-Bismol to bring you a delicious Super Bowl menu with a little relief for later. Today I'm going to be showing you my classic buffalo chicken dip, an ooey gooey cheesy lasagna dip, and my epic spicy chorizo queso dip that packs lots of heat. Needless to say, with all of this yumminess waiting to be devoured, it's nice to have the Pepto close by to offer relief at the first sign of stomach trouble. Now let's get started with my classic buffalo chicken dip that has all of the tastiness of traditional buffalo chicken wings, but without the messy fingers. Now I'm getting started with some room temperature cream cheese in a bowl. Really critical, you use room temperature cream cheese. Otherwise, trust me, you will regret it. It gets really, really hard to stir. To that, I'm going to be adding some hot sauce, of course, because this is buffalo chicken dip. It requires a whole lot of hot sauce. I'm also going to be adding some ranch dressing. You know, if you're a huge blue cheese fan, I know there's like half blue cheese school, half ranch school. You can use blue cheese dressing instead, but I like the combination of ranch dressing because then I'm going to add some crumbled blue cheese. Now, for all you blue cheese haters out there, not to worry, you could also add some nice sharp white cheddar. That would work really well in this dip. I find the blue cheese adds a nice punchy flavor. Finally, I'm going to add my chicken. Now in this case, I've got some rotisserie chicken. It was already cooked. I just gave it a rough chop and I'm just gonna add that to my dip. Then it's just a matter of giving this all a really good stir. You wanna stir it until all those flavors are well combined. With everything in this bowl, you just know this dip cannot not be delicious. Now at this point, I could seriously eat this with a spoon, but I'm going to resist the urge and actually put it into an oven-safe dish, and then we're gonna bake it. I've got my oven preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm just going to pop this deliciousness into the oven for about 20 minutes or so, or until it's hot and bubbly and ready to be enjoyed. I like serving it with some carrots and celery sticks, just like buffalo chicken wings are served. How delicious does that look? Next up, I've got my ooey gooey, almost too good to be true lasagna dip that I think is perfect when served with fresh garlic bread. This one starts with a nice skillet on the stove. I'm just going to be browning off some ground beef. Now the cool part about this recipe, it's super versatile. If you wanted to do this with some hot Italian sausage, that would be really, really amazing. We're just gonna cook our beef until it is no longer pink. We're gonna break it up with the side of the spoon to make sure we have nice fine pieces. So now that my beef is brown, I'm gonna add in some flavor. I've got some minced garlic, that's really important. I've also got some Italian seasoning. I'm also going to add a little bit of fresh basil. We're just gonna let that all cook up for maybe 30 seconds or until that garlic becomes nice and fragrant. And then we are going to add some tomato sauce. I'm using the store-bought kind because it's Super Bowl cooking. You wanna keep things nice and simple. We're gonna bring this all to a nice simmer, and then we are going to finish it off by splashing ourselves in the eye with tomato sauce. That's what's gonna happen. We are basically gonna turn our heat down to low, and all I'm going to do for my last step is stir in some ricotta cheese. I love ricotta in lasagna. It's like one of my very favorite things. It makes it so rich, so creamy, so incredible. I'm gonna season this up with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. So as you can see, this is already looking really flavorful. We are just going to spoon it into an oven-safe dish and top it with a whole lot of shredded mozzarella cheese and a good sprinkle of shredded Parmesan. We're gonna pop this in the oven at 400 degrees for between 10 and 15 minutes. You're really just looking for that cheese to get melty and gooey and oozy and awesome. 3-cheese cheesy lasagna dip. Now that, my friends, is a Super Bowl of dip. Finally today, I am bringing on that game day heat with my spicy chorizo queso dip. All right, so we've got a nice skillet heated up on the stove, and to that I'm going to add my chorizo. Now I just removed the chorizo from its casing. I'm using about 3 sausages here. You basically just want to cook your chorizo until it's no longer pink. Now I like to use my spoon to break up the sausage pieces so that they're nice and small. You don't want big chunks because this is a dip after all. You want to be able to get a little bit of everything in a single bite. And then you can remove it. You just want to use a slotted spoon like so. You can remove it to a plate or a bowl and just set it aside while you get to work on cooking up all of your yummy vegetables, and then of course making that insanely good sauce. And the great part is there's enough fat in the sausage that you don't really have to add any more oil. Then we are going to start adding in some flavor. So I've got some finely diced red onion, that's gonna go into the pan. I've also got some red bell pepper that I've chopped up. We're gonna let these cook until they're nice and soft. Just 3 or 4 minutes should do the trick. To that, I'm going to add my jalapenos. We're just gonna cook those for just 30 seconds or so. They cook really quickly, you'll know, because your nose will start to tickle. You'll start to feel all that spice coming through. You wanna let those soften up as well. To that, I'm going to add my flour. Now this is just to help everything thicken up. You're just gonna wanna cook your flour for maybe a minute or so. Keep a good eye on it, keep it moving in your pan. You just wanna cook off that really floury taste because it's not something that is delicious and it's not something your guests will enjoy. Once you've got that floury taste cooked out, you're going to add your milk. Now I'm adding about a cup of milk to my pan. And you don't wanna scald your milk, so you wanna turn your heat down a little bit and just let that come to a simmer. And you'll see it starts to thicken up immediately. It almost looks like gravy at this point, but it's about to get even more yummy. So I have some shredded Monterey Jack I'm adding, and I also have some shredded sharp cheddar. Both of these have a ton of flavor. Both of these are very complimentary. And you're just gonna stir this in until that cheese starts to melt. And of course, as that cheese is all melting down, the last step is to add our chorizo back into the pan. This is not diet food. And when this beautiful dip is ready, you can just dole it out into a nice serving dish like I'm doing here, if you can resist and not just eat it with a spoon. And then we're just gonna finish this off with some greens. We can feel really good about ourselves. Our moms will approve. I've got some cilantro and then of course some lovely sliced jalapenos. Spicy chorizo queso dip. And let me tell you, you will feel good about this dip even if it's nacho team winning. Nachos. I hope you guys will give these epic dips a try at your own Super Bowl shindigs. And if you do, be sure to tweet me, Instagram me, or Snapchat me a photo because of course I love seeing your kitchen creations. And if you overdo it a little bit this year, not to worry, you can always fix it fast with some Pepto, which provides quick relief of tummy troubles. Finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe because there is lots more deliciousness and a whole lot more puns where this came from. Happy Super Bowl! Are you ready for some football?